So I'm into rank 792. I'm really happy with that. That's the highest I've ever been ranked. Hopefully it's not the highest I'll ever be ranked. But, so that's pretty good for me. I avoided the donut from Norton, which was really big, because a lot of people had that, and that just sucks. It's not fair. I remember I had Jake Lloyd and Joel Selwood. They both got KO'd in like the first 5 minutes of their games, and I got like a 3 and a 4 for those two. So you win some, you lose some, I guess, but it's really not fair. So hopefully you didn't have Norton. If you did have him, then you can still come back from it. It's just unfortunate. Luck's a part of the game. So I did alright this week, scored 238. No, what did I say? 2,238. Can't read. I'm like Floyd Mayweather. Anyway, so the defense was pretty good. It was good to get something from Lloyd. He's given me like 80s and 90s and 70s since I traded him in, and he gave me a 130. So I guess that's why you hold your premiums, because eventually they can come through for you. And yeah, the defender rookies, the Holy Trinity, they weren't very good at all. We'll be looking to move these guys on pretty shortly. And Norton, he's gone this week, and I think Lachlan Murphy, if you have him, I talk about him every week, but I think he's a really good shot at playing this week. He should have played in the showdown. Gallucci, his replacement, had like 5 disposals, so I'm not sure how he keeps playing after that pathetic performance. Anyway, midfield was okay. Mitchell and Merritt were tagged pretty hard, so that was really bad for me, but I think most people have Mitchell, and I recommended Merritt. I can concede that was a mistake. Essendon looked like they've checked out, I think. Their game plan, I don't know, something's just wrong with them. They have the list to make top 8, but something's wrong here. I'm not sure what it is. And poor Merritt's just getting tagged every week. Like the smaller bodies like Mitchell, Merritt, Sloan, these guys are really susceptible to tags, so not much can be done here. Merritt we're going to hold for a little while longer. And yeah, Parker gave me something. I've been really giving it to Parker, like just insulting him every week because he's given me a 5-round average of 80, but he was really good. He stood up and he kicked a clutch goal at the end, which is unusual for him because he usually disappears. But that was good for me. So well done, Parker. So happy with him. Gawn and Grundy were very good for me, especially Grundy. 100-point second half was really big. And the forward line's still kind of carrying the team. Gray and McLean, they're like the dynamic duo sort of thing. They're just really doing a lot of work for me because they had really low ownership at the start of the season. So that was really good. Akers, I don't know why he's in my team, but he's in, so we'll have to deal with that. And we have no room for Heaney because Walters should come back next week. So yeah, and Jesse Hogan, I told everyone trade in Jesse Hogan. He ended up with a 90. He was on 40 in the last quarter, and then he did an Eddie Betts and got a few junk time goals. So that was good for Hogan. He plays Carlton next week. I'm expecting big things from him. He actually covered 18 kilometers. That's a lot. That's nearly a half marathon. I don't think I've run that much in like the last year, so in total, and he did it in like 3 hours. So that was pretty good from Hogan. Anyway, the trades for this week. So Dustin Martin is looking really cheap, but we're going to look at him next week. What we're going to do though, I can't talk today. Cade Simpson in, the ever so reliable. Possibly Elliot Yeo, but I like Simpson because he's cheaper. And make another trade. And we'll get rid of Holman or Brayshaw, I'm not sure which one. But we'll get rid of one of them. And we'll bring in one Ed Phillips. Pretty sure Ed Phillips is a host of a game show. But maybe that's a different Ed Phillips. So, anyway, to the agenda. Now with the agenda, if anyone wants to sponsor it, you know, the channel has gone okay. It's improving. I'm trying to improve every week. So if you want to sponsor the agenda, get in early, I reckon. So you can just hit me up, message me or something, and then yeah, it'll be a nice low price, and we'll make a good deal. Anyway, so the agenda is, so we have one Patrick Dangerfield, the King Patrick. Yeah, Tom Mitchell's not the King anymore. He's getting tagged, so the King should be almost immune to tags. So King Patrick, do we get him in? I think you can if you really want to. He only had 6 centre bounce attendances, so he's still not playing much in the middle. I assume that will go up, and yeah, he looked okay. He still didn't look 100%, but still, he played pretty well. So if you want 600,000, that's probably around his bottom out price. So if you want to go for Patrick, then I'd say go for it. I'm gonna hold off a little while longer and trade Kelly to Dangerfield at some point. So yeah, I think you can trade in Patrick this week. Jack McRae, this is bad for me. This is bad for all of us that don't have him, because the people that do have him, he's tearing it up. Remember, he did play 2 of the weakest teams in the league in the past 2 weeks. So, and no one's tagging him. Everyone's getting tagged, but McRae's not getting tagged. Somebody tag him, for goodness sake. But yeah, we've missed out if you don't have him. If you picked him, well done. He's 670,000. Way too much money. I'm not touching him unless he comes down a bit more. Comes down a lot more. Now Ben Ronk, who kicks 7 goals on his 3rd game? Anyway, Ben Ronk does. I missed out on him. I guess we know about his job security now, because I questioned his job security, and now we know for sure. I wouldn't get him in this week. I think he's too much money. 200,000. Sure, his break even's low, but yeah, Franklin comes back in next week, I assume. But yeah, I think he's still a good bench option. I'd still be a little bit nervous playing him on the field, but he was pretty good. So I missed out on that. That's bad for me, but oh well. Now the Holy Trinity down back. Who do we trade out? I have no idea. I'm just going to put Simpson on field. It looks better. I have no idea. Probably Finlayson. I think he has the highest break even out of the lot. Oh no, Dude does. I don't know. I have no idea. I actually like Murray so far, even though his average is the lowest. He's been scoring reasonably well. Well, Dude and Finlayson, I think they've both given us like 50s and 40s, I think. So I'm not too sure. I'm going to hold them all another week, but yeah, I have no idea. Maybe Dude. Dude's lost the plot the last 3 weeks, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll sort that out. I'll look a bit deeper into that, but I don't think it makes too much difference. Anyway, so Phillips and Ainsworth. I like Phillips because he's been on a game show. He hosts one. But if it's not that Ed Phillips, anyway, he's been in the system for a year. So he was drafted 2016. Ainsworth drafted last year. So an extra year usually favour those blokes. Ainsworth looks good, but I have another look at him next week. But Phillips at St Kilda, they need to play rookies, so I'd go for Phillips. And I don't mind going early on rookies because it frees up the week next week if you need to do upgrades and downgrades. So I can do another downgrade next week rather than hold off. So I'd look at Phillips this week and hold on Ainsworth. So Cummings, he was also drafted 2 years ago, so that kind of helps. I'm going to look at him next week, but he looked okay off halfback. I think that's where he played. Didn't watch the game, but I just assume. Now Jack Billings, this isn't funny anymore. If it was funny in the first place, he's pretty much a you can treat him as a rookie now. You can loophole him, you can play him on field if you want, but I would trade him just to someone cheap. And Jesse Hogan's still pretty cheap. I still like Hogan, even though he had a poor first 3 quarters, but Billings has to go. He's devoid of any confidence. Yeah, he's just terrible right now. He's not attacking the footy. He's not hard at the ball, and he can't kick at all. So I'd get rid of Billings, and Petrarca in the similar boat. He's kind of injured at the moment, I think. I don't know how that's affecting him, but I don't think he has the tank to score big in the midfield consistently. So he's probably better off in that half forward role. So yeah, that's it from me.